Hello and welcome to the Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Make sure to find the Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, and please rate and review the show. I'm your host, Wim Lou. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Blake Murphy, Alex Wong, in a good mood because I just got fed, courtesy of our friends at Bear Steak Sandwiches. You know what I mean.
That was a good sandwich.
It's a good sandwich.
You didn't even eat yours yet.
Okay, you told me to plug them off the top. What do you want from me, man?
I mean, you didn't have to lie.
I'm going to eat it afterwards.
The sandwich is there.
I ate mine. It was good.
All right.
I know my way around a sandwich.
Wow.
That's
All
a good
right.
sandwich.
Shouts
Open the show with a
to
lie.
Aki and Ricky, you know.
Oh, I thought his friend was going to be Saltfish.
What? Oh, you see, I get that one. Anyways, guys, 2 more shows with me. You guys ready?
Yeah. What's it going to take for you to come back on air?
My mom asking me yesterday why I'm not working this week.
Yeah.
Did the music
Sorry,
just play again?
They just played you out.
Guys, get it together.
They just played you out. You're
HR trying to take me out. Raptors, continue their little trip in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, a little bike ride. 1 bike ride, 2 losses in LA
Come
this
on,
week.
man. Come
No,
on.
but you know what? We are going to
Come
keep it
on.
positive today because, 2 very fun games in LA, like outside of, the Ben Taylor stuff. And I think we'll talk about this more, like just how the Raptors are looking as we're getting a bigger sample size post-trade. But yeah, Raptors lost a close one last night, missing Pascal with back spasms, and Jakob remains out as well. Thought they went, back and forth with the Clippers for 3 quarters, and then the Clippers were just better in the 4th, and yeah, that was about it.
Man, it's a lot. That Clippers team is
They're
really good.
Oh,
like
man.
they just have so much shooting. Like they shot 44% on threes last night. The Raptors almost kept up and shot 40% on threes. But like at no point did it even seem like the Clippers were hot. It would just seems like that's what the Clippers do. Like Paul George, Kawhi, James Harden, Norm Powell, all shooting over 40% on threes and just like casually knocking them down. You play good defense for 20 seconds and then someone just sidesteps into a 3. Alex, you got to feel pretty good about your early Clippers love and how they've looked over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I believe before the holidays, I actually backed out, called a mully and revised and I picked the Lakers because they had come off the in-season tournament win.
Unbelievable.
I like to revise and go back to the Clippers now.
Unmulligan.
Yeah, I like to unmully that. But it's like, I think, like what you said, Blake, even thinking about a player like Paul George, like I was looking at the box score at the end of the game and he ended up having an incredible game. And I felt like I barely felt his presence.
29, 7, and 6.
Yeah, and Kawhi was obviously doing what he always does. Norm was amazing for them. Amir Coffey, was out here doing things as well. So Clippers look great, man.
A Folger soldier.
Yeah, no, Clippers look
He
great,
also
man.
French pressing at work like me.
No, he decafed the Raptors last night.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, the Clippers obviously they're arguably playing like the best team in the league.
Yeah, I don't want to talk
right
about the
now.
Clippers though,
At
man.
least right
Let's
now.
talk about the Raptors, man.
But I think that's what made that performance impressive to me last night is that the Raptors hung with them the entire way. Look, they're 3-3 since the trade. But to me, outside of the Kings getting super hot from 3, the Raptors barely have trailed in these 6 games that they played. Last night, the Raptors had every excuse to pack it in, to not play for each other, to just get out of there with what is pretty much guaranteed to be a loss. I mean, you don't have Pascal, you don't have Jakob, you're playing second half of back-to-back, everything like that. And they played great. They played really hard for each other once again. Quickly and RJ just continue to thrive. And, it's funny seeing Knicks fans being so happy with OG and Raptor fans being so happy with this side of the trade. Such an obsession about quote-unquote fleecing and rooting for management to be good. I think management can be good even if you don't fleece in a win-win because that's exactly what's going on.
I see you fleecing over there in that jacket.
I
I'm
was
chill
going to make a joke as well, but
What up?
yeah.
No, but seriously,
anyways.
it was a really fun game, and I just really appreciated their effort. I also think that was probably for the first time in a while where I went into a Raptor game not just expecting a win and kind of just only appreciating what those guys were bringing to the table. I saw Thad Young and Garrett Temple in the first quarter, and I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna expect to win. I just want to appreciate how hard they fight. And I really, really came out that game with a big appreciation.
So there was a West Coast or Western Conference road trip early in the 2019-2020 run it back season. And we still kind of hadn't really figured out what the Raptors were, but they were off to a good start. They were 6-2. They beat the Lakers pretty shorthanded, and then they played a tight game but lost to the Clippers.
Yeah,
That was
Rondé forced Kawhi into 9 turnovers in that game.
in 2021, 2022, when they, or sorry, the year after that, 2020, yes, 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
The pandemic has completely ruined my recognition of what year is what year.
Yeah.
That was a year where obviously things were better, and it ended up being a little bit of fool's gold, but they had a 6-game road trip in March of that year, and they entered that trip only a couple games over 500. And then they went on to beat the Lakers and the Clippers at the end of that 6-game road trip in 2 really good games as well. Obviously, there are some years they don't play very well in LA, but it really did feel spiritually like those two, where it was like, not only did they, because in both of those road trips, if I'm remembering right, they had a lot of injuries. And they were playing against obviously very good Lakers and Clippers teams, and they were undermanned and fought really well and came away with some of the wins. They obviously went 0-2 in this stretch, but it did feel spiritually like that it's like, hey, we're in a period where we're figuring this team out. They go through a really tough road trip, and we learn pretty good amount about what this team is going to play like the rest of the way, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if they play like that, if they play that tempo that they played with, how committed they were on defense, switching from man to zone, I was almost called him Nick Nurse. Darko Rajaković in a deep squat on the sideline, like calling it out and sharing the ball, and multiple guys being able to create. Like, it was just fun watching the game. Like, I gained an appreciation for the Raptors after a loss that I typically don't get.
Yeah, they're 15-23. No, I think no, I'm totally with you guys. The Raptors are fun to watch right now.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we don't go back to just talking about, oh, the vibes are great. They're 15-23. No, and there's still, obviously the questions about Pascal, what this roster is going to look like in a month's time, in 6 months' time. But yeah, like the tempo of the game, the Garrett tempo of the game. And, I think just watching this team now, like post-trade, I think, Blake, like by the numbers, like they probably have one of the best offenses, like during this stretch, right? Like around the league, and you can see it. Like, it just seems like everything has been like unstuck on the offensive end. It just seemed like we were watching the same product over and over again the last few years, and now we're finally watching something different.
And that was true last night, even without Pascal Siakam. So I think you saw his absence really in 2 key areas. One was that they really tried to run against the Clippers, and they got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, they pushed every single time, and whether it's the Clippers just being sound defensively or the lack of Pascal Siakam for those hit-aheads or sprint-outs or whatever, they just could not get anything going in transition. And then obviously in the fourth quarter, when the Clippers kind of locked in, they turned the tap off. And it would have been nice to have one other guy who can, attack a Terrence Mann or create his own shot or something like that. But I do wonder, this is kind of, and Jakob Poeltl didn't play, and the Raptors would obviously get pieces back in a Pascal Siakam trade. But did either of you guys watch this kind of with an eye of, let's see what this would look like without Pascal Siakam in the event that happens a couple of weeks from now?
I mean, that's undeniable because of all the trade rumors. That's a thought that you have in the back of your mind. I mean, I thought like they played pretty well. They were pretty cohesive. Is there a guarantee that they do that every single night? Like, if you tell me RJ Barrett's going to play at since coming to Toronto, I feel like RJ's played not at an all-star level. I'm not saying let's get RJ Barrett into the all-star game, but
He's there,
I have
He's
no complaints about anything RJ has done since coming to Toronto.
He's going to have a 60-60-60 season.
That's what I mean. He's having he's having like a Kawhi type of efficiency with that type of number. But yeah, I mean, they shared the ball well. They had a good tempo. Clearly, they didn't have the size because really where they lost this game was in the possession battle. Like they had 14 turnovers to the Clippers only having 7. And then the Clippers had a lot of offensive rebounds because Zubac was just like pancaking Thad Young under the basket. Poor dude, man.
Yeah. I saw 11 Jonte out down there fighting too.
We'll get to Jonte.
Yeah, we'll
definitely get to Jonte.
Yeah.
But
anyway, the Clippers end up with 7 more shooting possessions.
Exactly. And honestly, they only won by 2. The Raptors actually shot a better field goal percentage than the Clippers did last night, even without as many transition opportunities to bump that up, which shows to me that their half-court offense was actually quite good. Now, is a one-game sample enough to determine that? No, absolutely not. But I also do think that the other flip side is, okay, how does Pascal fit into this system, this group? Because I think that that's also been good. So whether you trade it or not, I actually kind of feel good about the Raptors' position either way.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to how good Quickly and RJ have been.
No, and I think to Quickly and RJ, like, I think it's just as simple as, if you only look at it from the offensive end, they've added 2 players who are incredibly consistent so far every game. You've been getting pretty much, what you're getting every game from Quickly and RJ at a certain level. Like last night, they both had, 24 points from RJ, 25 from Quickly. And like, again, like I know OG's doing great things in New York, but you just never got that with OG on a night-to-night basis on the offensive end. Like it was hit or miss a lot of times, right? And I think, man, like I love RJ, man. This guy might be my favorite Raptor of all time.
Okay, what was the thing about RJ that it's like that's selling you right now?
Well, I mean, the one thing for me is like he loves being a Raptor. I don't know another guy who's more excited to be putting on a Raptors uniform and playing right now. And this guy just plays so hard. Like the way he came out in the second half, like yesterday,
a huge third quarter.
Like he took over, like he set the tone.
Oh yeah,
at the start of that third quarter. And I don't even think it's that crazy to say, like, you know, Scotty's a more talented player. You could probably say Pascal's a more talented player. But since the trade, I feel like RJ's been setting the tone for this whole team. Like every single game, I feel like RJ's been setting the tone on like both ends of the floor. And he's had stretches where he's just taken over games.
I definitely think that that's true. You certainly see it in transition where he has a beeline for whoever the worst defender is. Now the Clippers don't really play a worst defender.
Who is on that? Who's that off of the Clippers?
Daniel Tice, I guess. I don't know.
Big Zoo.
Yeah, Big Zoo. Zoo Elsinore. I feel that. Wow.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Wow, you can do your little madman French dance too.
Have they done Zoolander for him? No, whatever. Yeah.
You know what? Pretty good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry,
he can't fade to the left. He can't do a hook shot to his left. So I mean, RJ, you definitely feel it in transition. The third quarter I thought was a good example. You're also seeing, I think people are picking up the chemistry here fairly quickly offensively. There were a couple times yesterday where RJ just like really bolts into a cut, and it was usually Scotty finding him, and he just like getting that little extra edge where you're not tentative making the cut, you're not worried, am I going to cut into someone's space, you're not worried if this pass doesn't come, I'm clunking up the drive and things like that. RJ's always been a good cutter, and cutting was the one thing that early in the year we were seeing the Raptors, and the numbers that Second Spectrum provided me were that the Raptors were cutting way more, and not finishing anything off of cuts and being like the worst team in the league at finishing off of cuts. And now you have another guy who is doing that really emphatically. And Scotty, it's not just Scotty, but I think Scotty's done a really, really good job finding cutters since these guys have come. So, Alex, I know your point was more about, tone setting and things like that. I think just offensively, he just fills so many gaps too.
Yeah, I've been impressed. Like, I think RJ came advertised as someone who like, oh, maybe sometimes the decision making isn't there. Maybe the playmaking isn't there. But like, even I've been impressed, in those areas too. I almost keep waiting for him to kind of slide back into what people expect him to be. But he's just been incredible so far, man.
The way RJ was advertised in this trade, both coming from New York and even some of us here who obviously have a familiarity with RJ because he's played so much with Team Canada. It's like if you bought a couch on Kijiji. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's a couch, but like, it might have this, it might have this, like, and you just don't fully trust it. And I think he's given us every reason to trust him in the first 6 games. Of course, the shooting is going to come down. He's not like going to shoot at this high of a clip
His
all the time.
shooting form is so weird too, but it works for him.
It's a bit almost like he sets himself.
He gets it. He shoots it like from his like chest.
Yeah,
on the side.
Yeah. Well, you're one to speak about shooting form.
Listen, man, I'm not criticizing.
Yeah,
I'm just
you shoot a Kamehameha. So, but I think for RJ, it's a recontextualization of how he's playing. He isn't always just like creating offense by himself. He's playing off the catch a lot of the times. He isn't taking mid-range pull-ups, really, unless it's like 1 or 2 a game at most. But it's not a primary thing that he's doing right now. When he's taking threes, it's not pull-up threes. They're catch-and-shoot threes. And there's a confidence by his teammates to find him more and more. And then when he gets downhill, I'm really just enjoying the fact that
when he becomes Zion,
he always gets to his left.
He's Zion. Yeah.
Like everybody is like, even good defenders are like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna cut him off. Yeah. Oh my god, and he got to the left again. It's just enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun. And Alex, I got to ask you, man, we run him with the Massey Hall Mamba nickname?
Massey Hall Mamba. I think I was trying to call him the Osmos Outlaws. Just trying to think of things that
Mamba on the rocks?
Yeah, Mamba on the rocks is not bad as well. I've never seen someone stand Osmos so hard, man. Like,
by the way, I've seen a lot of people being like, he's angling for an Osmo sponsorship, buddy. Believe me, that is in the bag the minute that trade happened.
Oh, man, RJ's going to get so many promo.
Yeah, he got the booster juices. Remember when booster juices had Jose Bautista?
Is he a booster juice athlete?
Yeah.
I know Bautista is a booster juice guy because I have a signed booster juice ball from Jose Bautista.
I was going to say, so when I lived...
juice ball from Bautista?
When I lived in Liberty Village, like the Jose Bautista cardboard cutout was at the Booster Juice long after Jose Bautista was on the Toronto Blue Jays, man.
Yeah, no, because there's a Booster Juice like near here at OMP, and sometimes if I'm coming in after a late night, like last night, for example, like I'm buzzing off of the lot somehow.
You need that funky monkey on your way in.
Yeah, I just need a cup, and then I used to stop by there, and it was always RJ Barrett, and I was like, huh. All right.
I didn't know RJ was a Booster Juice
Yeah.
guy. No, I love that dude, man.
He's gonna get every sponsorship in Toronto.
RJ's gonna be an everything guy now if the price is right.
He's gonna be like Thanos. Sure. He's just gonna collect all the monopolies and duopoly brands in Canada.
Grab a Fine Foods.
Yo,
I still can't believe they never capitalized on the OG thing. So they gotta make good here with RJ.
Yeah, man. Should we talk about the emergency geek squad guys? Like Garrett Temple. You know, do you think when Darko last night was like, yo, Garrett, I need you to suit up, Garrett just thought he meant you should put on a suit again?
He's like, wait, I'm not dressed for the game?
He's like, yeah, I got a suit on, coach.
He's like, suit.
Garrett Temple, you know, Thad Young on this trip, you know.
Do you think there's a rule? I've never checked this because why would you ever check this? But if you are active and you're on the bench, do you have to be in warm-up gear? Could Garrett Temple like wear his suit and then when he's going to check into the game, like unbutton the vest, like hang it on a hanger, hand it to Chi, whoever Chi is, that we'll find out later.
We'll find out segment 3.
Just like slowly undo his blazer as he checks in, and he's got his jersey on under the suit.
He's like Spider-Man. He just rips off the jacket and it's.
I thought Thad Young, you know, 2 good enough games as a starting center. People were super stressed about him starting.
I'm stressed about him starting.
Yeah, but I thought he was fine, like especially against the Lakers.
I think it was totally fine. I mean, there are obviously things that he's not going to dominate the matchup. It's really just about how much of that matchup can he manage. But like, you know, I'm enjoying the high-low passes that he's throwing. He's taking a charge every game. It's pretty much his only way to protect the rim is to take a charge. Even in some of the scenarios, you saw him switching out one-on-one against James Harden, and maybe James Harden's like, man, it's January, and we're gonna win this game anyway.
Man, it's looking like a bottle of soju at LCBO right now.
No, but he actually had a couple of stops on switching out on those wings. There's one play where Kawhi had him, and he was Kawhi's like, man, really? And he just like blasted through Thad Young for a foul, and I was like, damn, poor Thad. But yeah, he's holding his own, man. I think it's a testament to his professionalism. Like he's not played the entire season, and he just walks into the starting group. And he's not dominating, but he's not giving up as many points as I thought.
He played as many minutes in a 27-hour span as he had played in the last almost calendar year.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, because he had played like 36 minutes this season. And then, like, I know there were some times late last season where he was playing center minutes. But, like, really, I mean, if we're using the actual count, like, last March would have been the last time he eclipsed this many minutes, and he did it in a 27-hour span. Also, by the way, like obviously you don't care about, certainly with a guy spot starting at center, you don't care about individual plus minus, but I think it is worth noting, like against 2 teams like this on a back-to-back, all you're hoping for with the Jakob down is like, don't get destroyed in these starting minutes. They won Thad's minutes by 5 points over the last 2 games. Like they survived and won the minutes. It wasn't like you just have to stop the bleeding and turn a 10-point loss into a 5-point loss. No, they played the Clippers and Lakers pretty much even with that on the court.
Yeah, you know, credit to the front office for giving 2 first-rounders to the Spurs so we can have a starting center and an emergency center. I think. Bobby, I'm still watching you, bro.
We're gonna miss the cynicism.
Better come through. Better come through at the trade deadline, my brother. I'm still watching.
He's at an Andrew Schultz show right
No,
now.
but you know what? Like we got Dennis coming at some point in the second hour. You know, you pre-taped with him already, Will. But like, I want to give a shout out to Dennis too. I feel like we don't talk about Dennis all the time, and it's like he got the start yesterday. I thought he played really well. 22 points, 8 of 13. You know, had some huge shots for them. I thought in the second half. Like, I feel like we just don't talk about Dennis a lot sometimes.
So I didn't appreciate this, or I didn't realize this until I heard Dennis explain it in the interview that you're about to hear at 3
or 3:30. Yeah.
Or 3:30.
Yeah, please read.
What kind of producer are we doing?
Please read the group chat.
Whatever. At some point in this episode, you will hear Dennis. And I was asking about, you know, you and Quickly, the numbers are good right now. You guys look good on the court together. And he's like, well, this is something that we've always done, going back to his days with Darko and OKC with the 3-point guard lineups.
Oh, that's right. The 3 alphas.
Well, him, Chris
CP,
Paul,
and Shea, right?
And Shea, yeah. And they would always close games. You know, they were a bit undersized, so they had to do more things to, you know, play up in size, like box out better and stuff like that. But that group kind of worked for them. And so I think Darko's taking that blueprint. And there's obviously not a 3rd point guard that they're playing with, But RJ is that third functional guard that they're also able to put with those lineups. Him and Quickly have a built-in chemistry coming in from New York. And then Dennis has just been able to slot in alongside those guys and do well. And yeah, I mean, this is also a nice stretch where I feel like for Dennis, he looks more freed. Like first half of the season, he wasn't taking mid-range jumpers at all, really, mid-range pull-ups. But it seems like a shot he can get to a decent amount. Now, I don't want him to shoot it all the time, but a lot of possessions when it's like last minute of the game, you want to go for a 2-for-1 or late shot clock, you got to create something. And it's just like, okay, Dennis can get a ball screen, the big's going to drop, and he's going to pull up for the midi.
Sorry.
What's up?
The NBA just announced Darko's been fined $25K.
Oh, it took 2 days for that?
Yeah.
Guys, stop doing online petitions to pay for Darko.
Sorry to interrupt. I got the alert and it was Darko.
No, this is breaking news.
It's good to know.
This is like when Shohei Ohtani almost came here.
Wow.
You want some Blue Jays arbitration numbers, by the way?
Yes, please. I heard the Genesis Cabrera number from Daniele earlier.
So yeah, all it says is Darko Rajaković been fined $25,000 for publicly criticizing the officiating. That's it. They didn't.
Is 25 pretty standard?
Yeah, that's what Ime Udoka and Taylor Jenkins got earlier
this
year.
What did Fred get for the Ben Taylor? I wonder.
That's
35. I don't know.
Yeah, players will he got $30K.
30K.
Okay.
Dylan Brooks got 35 earlier in the year, but he pays the Dylan Brooks tax.
What did Dylan say? He just like ripped the refs, I guess.
Yeah, I can't remember the specifics. Just that he got a bigger fine than everyone else.
Who do you think is actually paying that? Just the org? Is Masai cutting a check?
By letter of the law, it has to be Darko.
Yeah.
But I mean,
who's slipping him that $25K check under the table?
The 20.
You know what? It should be Scotty. Yeah.
Honestly,
Scotty's gotten a lot of pub out of this.
Scotty has gotten a lot of pub.
He now might be 75th on the All-Star voting for.
Still not top 10. I know we're gonna do that in around the NBA segment, but
we got to talk about 11. We got to talk about 11.
It's 11 time.
No Stranger Things, but like
best 11 since Yao Ming.
Best 11 since Stranger Things, season 3.
11.
Jonte, man, the undershirt king. No, but seriously,
what problem do you have with the undershirt?
I don't. I'm just obsessed with it. I haven't checked this, but he must have put up career highs across the board last night.
I think he had more points in the Kings game.
Okay.
But last night he had 9, 7, and 4.
Yeah.
Also probably a career high with 3 turnovers.
Through this amazing outlet pass, He was like a Kevin Love-esque.
Looking like Jonte Unitas. It's
no,
real
but
bad.
11's your guy, Blake, and like he keeps showing us more and more on this road trip.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for him. It's a good, I chased that feature because I thought it was a good comeback story, and he's a guy that I thought back in 2019 would be an NBA guy. I'm not like his friend or anything. I thought he was worth a look as a backup big, and I think he's continued to show that. Yeah, at least look, it's a two-way player fresh from the G League. There's probably going to be a stretch of play where he struggles because teams know how to attack him or whatever, and then you're going to. You're going to see him maybe fall out of the rotation and then get back in the rotation. These things happen. But I think so far he's shown that, they were right to pick him up when they had the open two-way spot. They were right to give him a chance here. I guess my question from that would flow from that is, and I guess this isn't really a Jonte or Chris thing because they have shown they're capable of playing together, but Chris was the 10th man last night on a night that they only had 10 guys. What did you guys make of that? I don't mean to turn the Jonte positive into a Chris negative, but it was I was a little surprised when Chris was the last guy available off the bench and only played 11 minutes.
It is a minor lingering thing with Darko where it seems like he has McDaniels higher on the depth chart than
I'm not talking about number 2. I'm not talking about 2, man.
And
I'm so sick of 2.
And for me, I'm just like,
what does 2 do?
It was the first thing. Remember the first game of the season against the Timberwolves?
Yes.
Chris, I think, was the only guy who didn't come in the game in the rotation. And and it was a big surprise then, and McDaniels did play. And whatever, Chris, I think, has had a better season. I don't think there's much doubt about that. He didn't play well last night. He struggled with it. It feels like for Chris, mistakes will compound for him. So make one mistake and another mistake and another mistake. And then it's like, okay, we can't really let this happen because it is going to crater your minutes for a while. So I'm not even saying about last night. I'm just saying in general, it seems like Darko has McDaniels ahead of Chris in the rotation. And Blake, I'm curious there, what do you think that reason is? The only one I'm thinking about is maybe on-ball defense against wings.
Yeah, that's the only explanation that I have because Chris has shot the ball better this year. Chris is a better rebounder, a better transition player. And I guess the other thing would be McDaniels is several years younger and is under contract for next year too. So maybe they just want to make sure he's semi-regularly getting another chance. But yesterday I didn't think didn't think Jalen looked particularly good. I know you don't find that out until you've already made the decision, but I also thought then when Chris came in, he didn't look good either. So I don't know. Maybe they just didn't like either of them for the matchup. Like I guess it is tough when you're already so small. And like they clearly don't want to play Chris at the 5 anymore. But I was a little surprised. It's why I brought it up to ask you guys about it, because it is like I've pretty much post trade liked Darko's moves, understood the rotations and things like that. But like you said, Will, he does seem a little lower on Chris than, our eye test and even some of the kind of underlying on-off numbers would suggest. For Chris.
Yeah, Chris, you guys are right, though. Like, Chris has been the guy who's been kind of squeezed out of the rotation here and there a lot this season.
He's the odd man out all the time.
And was part of it, too, when Precious was here. I know they were trying to push Precious a little bit, too, trying to see his minutes.
They were showcasing, they were like, here you go, Tibbs. Like they're just sending Tibbs.
No, I think this was kind of
videos.
this was Masai's last dance. It was like, let's see if Precious and Malachi could give us anything, and then they didn't, so they got thrown into the trade. By the way, happy birthday to Chris. It's his birthday.
Happy birthday,
30. He's 31 today.
31.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's 2024 now.
Yeah. Shouts to Chris, man.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, Chris is a good dude, man.
No, I love Chris.
Yeah.
Also,
I love Chris. I love RJ.
He's played like 341 games as a Raptor now.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
Oh, it's getting up there.
It's why it stands out so much when he does get a DNP-CD. It's like, we have not seen many games over the last 5 years that didn't have Chris Boucher in it.
DNP-CD, that's my Honda Civic.
I just feel like for Chris, like I do sympathize with coaches because it is a little bit difficult in terms of how to play him, right? Like, can't play him at center.
Right.
You can't play him in a scenario where he's guarding wings mostly. You mostly want to play him where there's an opposing 4 off the bench that isn't a great shooter, so he can help off and roam.
And the Clippers don't have that guy.
Yeah, and also it's like a real like gamble in terms of like he can sometimes give you great results because we've all seen Chris have amazing games for the Raptors.
He's been amazing on this trip.
Yeah, exactly. Sacramento. He was 7 of 7 from the field. So there's like high impact thing for Chris, but it's just a difficult. He's like star anise. Like it's hard to just toss it into every dish, but certain dishes need star anise. You know.
Yeah,
no?
I mean,
cloves. Y'all don't cook.
I don't cook, man.
Throwing Bay Street leaves.
I just eat from Bear Steak Sandwich.
Yeah, yeah. I guess like.
Sorry,
it's all right.
Sorry.
I don't know why we're suddenly doing a whole Chris Boucher segment, but we can. But it's like, I remember him even like, that during that Tampa run, like he had a crazy run where he was like an incredible scorer. Not that we're expecting that from him anymore, but it's
RJ couldn't get his record.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He had 38 and 19 against the Bulls one time.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. They lost the game, but that wasn't Chris's fault at all.
Yeah, I mean, Chris was also the #1 option during the COVID era in that Cleveland game. That emergency Geek Squad game. And he talked about how it changed his career.
It literally changed his life. He's like, damn.
He's like, damn, being an 8th man is a lot easier than being in a first. Being a number 1.
He's like, I don't want that smoke.
I need 4 bench seats to lay down across after this.
Oh, man. But I love that aspect about Chris because there is that, like, there is sometimes where it's like buying, like, a lottery ticket, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, and he'll fight you on Twitter. Sahal Abdi. Yeah.
Who did he went
Stephen
at
A. He went at Evan Turner.
Oh, Stephen A.
He went at Stephen A. yesterday because Stephen A. said some stuff about Scottie not being the face of the league.
Yeah.
Stephen A. had a day yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
How does Stephen A. have that much energy, man? I'm exhausted after doing a 2-hour show. Stephen A.'s like,
yo, banter pod at 7, first take at 8 a.m.
Stephen A. the only guy who will talk about LeBron, talk about Jason Whitlock, then talk about feet. Like, it's all the same day for him, man. It's one long day for him.
That's why he's my media king, man. Wanted to ask you guys about a couple more things when we take the break. Like, and Dennis is confirmed for 3 p.m., Will, if you haven't read the group chat.
I haven't.
I wanted to ask you guys, maybe we'll start with you, Blake, like any thoughts on just like how Scottie's played, like since the trade? I know there's been, I don't know, like just feels like last night he was a little bit, kind of a quiet game from him. Maybe the usage has been a little different. Like, what have you guys seen just from Scottie maybe adjusting to this new roster?
Yeah, so I wrote at sportsnet.ca about some of these trends that we're talking about statistically today, and I pulled Scottie's numbers for the season, usage kind of game by game. And this is, as a 5-game chunk, this is the second lowest usage stretch he's had this season. Now, usage is only scoring. He's still passing the ball a lot. He still leads the team in front court touches. He is, to me, pretty clearly trying to make space for these new guys, working as a playmaker, using the defensive attention that he's had to score through all year to, hey, swing the ball over here. If I'm drawn to, RJ's going to have a guy scrambling out to him and he can blow by that. Or if I'm creating space for IQ, that's going to help him get his more efficiently than me trying to score against two. So that is mostly what I'm seeing when I watch these games back. Bigger picture, you probably want to make sure that usage rate does come back up a little bit, just because, he had settled in around 25% there. That for a third-year player who also has Pascal on the roster, that feels like a good number. It's been down closer to 21 since the trade. I think it'll come back up naturally as defenses have to adjust to RJ and Quickly and their fit, and maybe you don't send two as aggressively to Scotty Barnes. Certainly, he's already changed Caitlin Cooper tweeted out some stats the other day that already teams are going under against Scotty significantly less than last year. So we're already starting to see some of those defensive changes, and I think RJ and Quickly, as we get more of a sample of this, I think that'll probably help, and you'll see it. These things kind of swing back and forth and then find a new equilibrium. I think you will see Scotty scoring more again. It's just right now, to me, when I watch the game back, it looks like good teammate stuff, not he doesn't have a space stuff.
So a non-story of Scotty struggling.
Worth keeping an eye on, but to me, when I when I watched the fourth quarter last night, it's like like you were missing a score in Pascal, and ideally Scotty does what he did in the Lakers game and just goes takeover mode. It's the second night of a back-to-back where he's played like 80 minutes, and it's against one of the best wing defending teams in the league. When I look at the on-court stuff, like the numbers are the numbers, but I'm just not that worried. It looks like good teammate stuff to me. Like there are a couple new guys here. I know I can get mine when I need to, so let's make the space for them, and then I'll take over in the fourth of the Lakers game if we need that.
Yeah. The biggest change for him right now is the defensive responsibility he has.
Oh yeah.
Guarding on ball versus guarding off ball. And he was contributing a lot guarding off ball. He was always really engaged. But now it's like you have to be locked in and engaged his run here.
What man? You never play defense.
That's why I appreciate it, because everyone loves the guy who plays defense, so that other people don't have to. But no, I mean, his run here, Kawhi Leonard last night.
Yeah.
LeBron James the night before.
Yeah, light work. Yeah.
2 nights before that, Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
We talk about 3 finals MVPs.
Yeah.
Back to back to back.
Yeah. Very different kind of players as well. All this stuff.
Totally. Yeah. So I think that's going to take a lot out of you.
Man, that is a gauntlet. Damn, those 3.
Yeah, when you put it like that, and it's not to make excuses for him, right? Yeah. Because when you're talking about him as the way Darko vocalized, face of the league, when you talk about him as an all-star, there is an expectation that there's an offensive burden that you take on night in, night out. But I mean, it almost reminds you of like what Kyle used to do for the Raptors. Like some games, it wasn't like Kyle every game got you like 30, 10, and 10. Like he contributed in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, he'll give you 0 sometimes, to start a championship run,
just mix it up, throw
a 0. Drop a 0 against Orlando. Why not?
He just likes to reset expectations.
Who was the guy guarding him in that Orlando game?
I don't even know,
Game 1? Oh, you don't
Probably
remember?
DJ Augustine, honestly.
Oh, yeah, DJ. Oh, my God.
Yeah. But like for Scotty, like he does a lot of the team-oriented stuff. But I think there's also this huge expectation from him, because our traditional sense of what a star is like we need him to be Luka and put up Luka numbers every night. Right. His skill set is not Luka's skill set. It doesn't even have a go-to move in the way that you would need to score on a consistent basis like that. But at the same time, he's growing in his own way as a player. He contributes in multiple facets.
Yeah,
I didn't question his effort at all yesterday. Like he looked locked in and engaged. He looked tired for sure, but he's just not going to be like every single night giving you 30 type.
Yeah,
and if you do want him to do that, then you got to A, give him the ball and change the whole system to do that, and then B, give him like the night off defensively, because that's typically what those guys do. Like James Harden wasn't guarding Steph Curry when he was MVP. James Harden was guarding, I don't know, Andre Iguodala or something.
Harden was guarding teammates from heading into the Vegas strip club.
He was guarding the LCBO at front in Spadina.
And like, is that confirmed, by the way? Is that the one we're going to?
Yeah,
the James Harden
Segment 4 will have all the details for you if you want to know.
Yeah, there you go.
By the way, to use a comp, though, of someone who, like, in the way you're describing, hey, they're playmaking for teammates. They score, but not at a superstar usage rate. They really defend. Jimmy Butler's made several All-NBA teams without ever being a super high usage guy. Like he has hovered for his entire career around the usage rate Scotty's at this year, which is 24.5%, 25%. And he has made multiple All-NBAs and he's never won an MVP, but he's been on some ballots and obviously had a lot of playoff success. There is a model for that type of guy being an All-NBA guy. And then also it's Scotty's 3rd year. Like there's still lots of time for him to, take that 24, 25 to 27, 28 as, depending on what the team environment is around it.
Yeah, and what's interesting to me real quickly is just because Scotty's gotten so much better at 3-point shooting, I'm even seeing Scotty take bad threes now. You guys notice that? Like, super early in the shot clock, I'm going to just take this three.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the aggression. I like the idea. But, like, there are actual times where he's just, like, chucking them up there. Not in a selfish way. Just like that he's so confident in his new skill set.
That's good, man.
It's about finding and growing. Like, what you're seeing right now is the growth periods where he's really up. He looks amazing. And there's some down games. But I didn't even think yesterday was a down game necessarily. He gave a great effort defensively. So
I think the threes you're talking about, they're great underdog threes. Like, if your team is not favored to win and you're going to have to hit some extra shots to beat a team like the Clippers on the second night of a back-to-back, that's one where, like, the defense isn't set. It's early in the clock. If you knock that down, that's such a huge, I mean, it's 3 points, but it's also, like, such a nice energy boost and such a, especially a lot of these nights, even with the new pieces, you're going to be outgunned from the 3-point line. I think those are good underdog shots. You're going to need some plays like that to upset a team when you're an 11-point dog like the Raptors were yesterday.
Yeah, no, I think as a great shooter myself, like one of the things that I would like Scotty to get better at, I find he still hesitates sometimes. You can see he like makes kind of a split second kind of pause before he shoots those threes. Like he should just be in rhythm and just launch those threes, man. Because a lot of times I see he's open, but he kind of thinks about it a little bit.
I don't know. I'm seeing the opposite.
All right.
He's shooting them without hesitation right now for me.
No, but shouts to Scotty.
Shouts to Scotty.
All right,
again, he guarded Kawhi, LeBron, and Steph. Like,
no, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the only number 2 that I care about, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. Mike never tried to rap like Pac. Pac never tried to sing like Mike.
No,
that's the kind of deal that he's on right now. Anyway, we're gonna take a break. I've been your host, Willow. You've been listening to the Raptor Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Welcome back to the Raptor Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. I'm your host, Lou. Continue to be joined by Blake and Alex. Blake, nice shirt, man.
Thanks, man. A little wardrobe change because I was chilly.
Yeah.
And I did not realize post-gym shower how out of control my hair had been. So we had to mix it up here. Well, yeah. The band is cool and good.
Nice.
With a spelling mistake on it. It's a great piece of merch.
Shouts to Steve. I know he's listening.
No love for pun?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You're not
Alex.
on camera.
What
We got to
you
swing it
wearing,
around
man?
here.
What
Yeah.
are you wearing today?
No love for pun? Come on.
That big pun?
Wearing my Needles cardigan. What you know about Needles?
I don't know anything about that, to be honest.
7 segments left, guys. How you guys
feel?
How you guys feel? Countdown's on.
Well, I was reading the announcement of your exit.
Your surprise announcement of it?
Well, that Adam Lascaris put out at the Daily Hive, where he wrote a story off of what I announced on
He
Sunday.
Aggregated you.
I mean,
he aggregated you, really.
Yeah. But then I also noticed in there was like, the Raptor Show is the number 2 podcast,
so
basketball podcast in Canada. And I was like, wait, it is?
Once again, I don't want to talk about no 2s today, except for Kawhi.
Here's the thing. The Raptors are home again next week. Adam Lascaris is going to answer for his crimes in person.
No,
Adam, I still got my Sportsnet credential. I'm going to pull up. Just kidding, Josh.
Because to me, this is my entire life. You don't understand. Like, I base my whole life on the fact that the Raptor Show is the number 1 basketball. Yeah.
The Raptor Show is your personality.
Yes. And I stopped tracking it because it got boring. It was like 100 straight days of number 1 basketball podcast in Canada. Like, you go look up the chartables. And I was like, number 2. I was like, damn, why are we number 2? This is a national crisis for me. Not just you leaving. I'm sorry. That's secondary to us being number 2. I looked up the
Bobby,
chartables.
Don't trade Pascal tomorrow.
Do
it after 4.
I looked at the podcast charts, and lo and behold, we were number 2 basketball.
Did you fall to your knees?
I did fall to my knees, but then I realized what was going on.
Yeah.
Club Shay Shay is labeled as a basketball podcast, and I'm sure he talks about basketball all the time.
Yeah.
But
Can
the
you say
Cat
Club
Williams
Shay Shay? Can you say Club Shay Shay again? It's so cute when you say it.
Club Shay Shay? Yeah, but the Cat Williams interview knocked us off number 1. I can't believe
this
it,
is
man.
what I need to clarify.
It's an accounting error.
Because everybody's been like, yo, Alex Wong, the producer of the number 2
No, that doesn't sound right, man.
basketball podcast in Canada.
Yeah.
First of all, if you in these streets, you know we're number 1 in influence and always have been. Influence, quality, everything. And yes, this once-in-a-lifetime event of Cat Williams roasting the entire Hollywood infrastructure, getting 22 million views on YouTube and God knows how many more downloads on the damn Club Shay Shay feed, has knocked us to number 2, and I don't know when we're gonna bounce back.
Yo, honestly.
Like, can Dan Wyke say something crazy enough to compete against Cat Williams? Which guest can we come on? Who can be our Cat Williams, guys? Who can
I
actually
don't know, man.
come on here and like destroy the whole industry to the point where we go to number? Actually, it would be Stephen A. To be honest,
Yeah,
probably.
it actually
honestly,
would have to be
for
Stephen A.
our purposes, like the best case scenario like that is probably if Drake finally agreed to do media.
Oh man,
man.
I'll take Nico.
He does Rap Radar and the Raptor show.
Yeah, wow.
How do you know Rap Radar?
Yo,
Do you know Elliot Wilson?
Guys.
Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. And it's it's classic me to be going out this weekend having to get a number 2. God damn it.
See, I thought your approach here was going to be you guys have been the number 1 podcast for so long, for like years at this point. And then once the news leaked that you were leaving, suddenly it drops off to number 2. That's how I thought you were gonna I thought you were gonna play it. It's like, wow, there's even a rumbling that I'm leaving and we fall off from number 1.
I would never wish that on anybody else. I'm the most supportive person in this industry. To specific people. No, but anyways, that's enough about myself until tomorrow, 3:30. I got a 12-minute farewell speech that I'm editing.
I hope you're kidding, because we also have surprises planned for you.
Not kidding. Anyways, back to...
At least we don't have a game to talk about tomorrow. We'll be all right.
Yo, Utah's been playing really well, though.
Man, I'm not trying to hear that.
Big shotgun.
No, because tomorrow we're going to be like, yo, thank you, everybody. And now it's time for Between the Lines. No, that's going to be the sickest transition ever. Anyways, back to more Raptors, assorted Raptors stuff. Important question for you, Will.
Yeah, what's up?
How many Raptors players do you think Kawhi knew last night?
Dude, you know, time goes by quickly. You think RJ was starstruck? He's like, yo, that's my finals MVP
For
right
sure.
there. I'm guarding.
For sure. Yeah.
He definitely knew
a lot
Pascal.
of people changed.
Do you think he remembers?
Okay.
I'm not even trying to shade Chris Boucher because, like, Kawhi's been known. Like, didn't he get Terry Rozier's name wrong when they were playing the
He called him
Hornets?
Tony Rozier.
No, like you know, I'm sure maybe he remembers Chris. He remembers Chris. I would think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the roster.
Yeah. We're not counting Pascal because he was out. So I want to only active.
Pascal was out, but
dressed,
but fully dressed, like he was in his zip up and everything. He had the headband. I've never seen a player out for a game.
He was dressed like you every day on the show.
But I've never seen a player out for the game with the headband on.
Yeah. No, he was cosplaying as an NBA player.
Kind of like. Shouts to Pascal.
Yeah, but answer me. How many players active?
Okay.
So Pascal's out.
So you definitely know Stad Young, because Stad Young's been in the league forever. Knows Garrett Temple, because Garrett Temple has been in the league forever.
They've been in union meetings, maybe. Yeah.
I don't. You think Kawhi's showing up to union meetings? Really, Mr. Load Management doing union meetings?
That's former Mr. Load Management, by the way.
You're right.
He's an Iron Man now.
All due respect, he got his contract, so we'll see how much he load manages.
He Robert Downey Jr. now. That's what he said to Lawrence Frank when he sent him the contract.
That's what he said to most of the Raptors last night. He like, big dog.
No, but legit, how many Raptors, guys?
Time changes, man.
3, 4.
Temple, Thad, Chris. I'm gonna say he knows Dennis. Dennis has been around the Western Conference playoffs, seen too much.
They've been in the same city.
Yeah. Do you think Kawhi ever thinks about his time with Toronto?
Man, this is what you're not supposed to do with your exes, man. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to wonder, man.
When do you think the next time Kawhi will acknowledge the Raptors? Because I was thinking about this last night. I think it'll be at the Hall of Fame speech. He will be like, yo, I had a really special 1 year in Toronto.
Dog, I can't wait for Kawhi's Hall of Fame speech.
No,
man.
but do you think
short as hell?
Do you think between now and then he'll ever mention the Raptors?
Yeah,
or his time there?
Probably.
Has he ever mentioned the time?
Okay, would you not mention the peak of your career?
I mean, Spurs, he had some peak years there.
He had the peak of his career in Toronto. I don't care what he did with the Spurs. What he did in one season with Toronto was higher than any one season he ever had with the Spurs.
Yeah.
He could also, I think, like, let's play out the scenario where the Clippers stay healthy, they win the championship.
Yeah.
I think he would be the first player to ever win Finals MVP with three different teams.
Yeah.
Did LeBron not do this?
No.
I don't think LeBron has it with 3 different teams.
Wait, you're right.
LeBron
Maybe he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But I think that'd be the only other player, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I think that'd be only.
I remember looking this up once he left.
If you count the bubble.
Yeah. Of course you count the ball.
Oh,
it's the hardest championship, the hardest road.
You know what it is? I looked this up after he left, and LeBron has won the Lakers title since then.
Yes.
Is probably where I'm botching this.
Speaking of number 2, I guess this whole segment's been about 2s.
He definitely doesn't know McDaniels.
Yeah. Speaking of 2s, can you guys...
I don't know. Didn't they both go...
San Diego State, right?
San Diego State.
Yeah, but like 12 years apart, probably.
Maybe he went to like an alumni dinner.
You think Kawhi's helping the recruiting pitch?
You think this is the new Shohei Ohtani and like Kikuchi situation? They went to the same school?
Come to Toronto, it was lit. We're
Yeah,
number two.
I challenge you guys. There's been 12 players in NBA history, in Raptors history, to wear the number 2.
Oh my God.
Do it.
Vashawn Leonard.
Yep. 1.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yep. 2.
Jalen Harris.
Yeah, my
Myers
guy.
Leonard. I don't know.
Yeah, Jalen, my guy.
Jalen
Yeah.
Harris.
The second best number 2 in NBA
Jalen
history.
McDaniels. 2 Jalen. We got both Jalen's and both Leonards.
Leonard's, yeah. So that's
far.
4. You got
Yeah.
8 left. You know some of these guys.
Landry Fields.
Yeah, that's 5.
These are the most random names I'm pulling too, by the way. Blake, please step in. Who else is more number 2 recently?
Come on, man.
This is
these your basketball experts?
PJ Tucker.
Yeah, PJ 6. You're halfway there. Halfway there. It's getting into the weeds.
This
a
is
little.
maybe because you mentioned him yesterday.
Mm.
Sunday out of Gaines.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
2011.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can
Okay,
we
are we
remember
missing
Sunday Out of
any?
Gaines as
Are we
rap?
missing any new ones, or are they all like pre?
There's one
Sunday out
from
of Gaines?
2017.
Jared
and-
Sullinger?
Nope. 2017 and 2018. Although Jared
17,
Sullinger,
18.
Jared Sullinger is part of the story of this player from 2017. He was
Is this not
in.
PJ Tucker? We
Yeah,
have
PJ Tucker. Did you say PJ?
I said
We already said
PJ
Oh, never
Tucker.
mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
2018. There's a fringe guy
2018.
who shot bow and arrows.
Oh, Nigel.
yeah,
Nigel
Nigel.
Hayes,
Hayes.
That's
Yeah.
Nigel with
Hayes.
the brie.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You guys are. There's one from 2012. He recently rejoined the NBA. He recently came back in the NBA.
As a player?
Yeah,
No.
with the Indiana Pacers.
James Johnson?
Yeah, James
You
Johnson.
wore
Okay.
2 here?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
James
All right.
Johnson. And now we're going back to the early 2000s. There's 2 players.
All
They're
right.
both guards.
Oh, Derek Martin.
Derek Martin,
Yes.
who used to
okay.
go to the same dry cleaner. as I go
Saved the
to now.
3-point record.
My
Derek
dry
Martin.
cleaner has a signed photo of Derek Martin.
That's amazing.
First of all, I mean, I'm not even trying to judge. Like, it's an Asian run.
Yeah.
Like, how did they know who Derek Martin was? He wasn't even a star. Shouts to,
He saved the 3-point streak, though.
shouts to D-Mart.
There's an unnamed coach in the
And
league
then
right now. I've
another
seen
guard.
haggle for a cab. So
Another guard from 2004, backup guard type, journeyman in that era. You definitely know this name,
Rocco?
but you don't think about this man.
I don't think about this man.
2004.
Gennaro
2004.
Pargo.
Ooh.
He was a Raptor?
Yeah.
I
Oh.
remember him as a Raptor. I would never have guessed he was number 2.
Yo.
And Oliver Miller.
10-day
whatever.
10-day
Oh,
king.
okay.
Gennaro
Yeah,
Pargo.
Yeah.
Gennaro
And
Pargo.
Oliver Miller?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sunday out of
I've-
Gaines was on the Raps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hit a game winner or something?
No, he hit it against
With the Jazz.
With the Jazz.
Jazz,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
Um,
last time LeBron had.
Cavs
LeBron's
Jazz.
team had a 19-0
What-
free throw advantage.
Do you
in the
have
fourth
this in
quarter.
front of you still?
What's up?
What year did Gennaro Pargo play for the Raptors? Because there is an NBA Live game where he's on your roster.
2004, he was with Toronto.
Okay, so NBA Live 05, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Interesting.
he's definitely on your roster in an NBA Live.
They're running 2-man game with him and Chris Humphries that year.
Oh God, that's when Grange got his start.
Yeah. No, shouts to you, Alex, man. You really got in a one last basketball reference game before the retiring.
No, somehow this segment all we talked about was 2, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So deuces. That's what I'm saying. It's deuces, man. Yeah, Dennis Schroeder is coming up at 3 p.m.
there we go.
Where's
From-
he joining us from today,
from the
Will?
bus.
From the bus?
Another one. Yeah.
Yeah, bus a rhymes, and then we'll have more sorted Raptors news stuff around the NBA after that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did I go too early? Oh yeah, we still have 90 seconds. What's good, man? What you saying tonight?
You guys
Mama
said-
took the bus. Now she got a bus route. No?
Derek, no drops today? Can I hear a Darko Scotty Barnes or something? Come on, man.
Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
There you go.
No, there's another one that he did. He said Scotty's name twice in that rant. And the first one, we go, Scotty Barnes? Oh, man. That one hit hard.
No, I like
Darko
that
was
one.
going in that day.
25K.
What do you think his reaction was to the last 2-minute report when it dropped yesterday? And it was actually the Lakers should have got more calls.
Honestly, I think Darko probably just printed it out just so he can rip it up. I think that's the kind of
He
vibe he's
texts
on
Phil
right
Jackson. He's like, yo, what
This
should I
is
do?
shame.
now. Yeah, he said this is crap. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back with Dennis Schröder. I've been your host, Willow. You've been listening to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Welcome back to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. I'm your host, Win Lu. Earlier today, and by early I mean like 1 p.m., I was able to catch up with Dennis Schröder, who was on the team bus once again as, the Raptors were off to their next location. They're going to play Utah on Friday. But we got to catch up with Dennis. We got to ask him about, reuniting in LA with his former Lakers teammates, Darko's rant, And of course, I had to ask him all about their team bike trip as well and how that came together. So this is our interview with Dennis. Joining us once again on the Raptor Show is Dennis Schröder on the team bus to another city. This is the life of an NBA player. A bus to a plane to go home eventually, and then a bus to a plane. And you repeat that over and over again. I think you guys are on your way to the airport. You guys obviously play in Salt Lake City on Friday. So appreciate you, Dennis. You guys had a really eventful 2 days in LA, though. You know, a lot of things to ask you about. We got to start with Darko, though. Darko, with that press conference, everybody's talking about it. What was your reaction to Darko's legendary rant?
I mean, I think it's great. He protecting the players. He's protecting us. I think just going out there, making sure that we get respected as well. I think sometimes coach have to do it. So this is one time. He probably gonna get fined. He said, and then we move on.
Yeah. What was the reaction like in the locker room once you guys found out about what Darko had said? Because I don't know if you've ever seen him that angry before, but for a lot of people, that was the first time people really got to know that dark side of Darko, where he could really take it that level.
I mean, he's European. Everybody should know that he's a little, that he can get a little crazy. So, no, we found out the next day because he mentioned it, in our breakfast meeting. But everybody kind of, was like, okay, I like it. I mean, he just speaks up for our, organization, for our team, for our players, and every time when you do that, you get recognition from everybody, and I think it's really important that we know our coach got our back.
Yeah, he definitely had you guys' back for sure because it was everywhere. It was all over ESPN, all over the news. I seen like Opta stats, which typically only do like soccer stuff. They were even posting about the foul disparity in the fourth quarter against the Lakers. And yeah, I think, my only question with that is, has he gotten that mad at you guys behind the scenes?
I mean, it's here and there. He's a coach. Try to figure everybody out. I've seen him before like that, but I mean, he's his first year. He's still trying to figure out his ways. And at the end of the day, whatever is behind closed doors is behind closed doors, and yeah, we just try to get better every single day.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, let's talk about the two games in LA. So, the first game against the Lakers, it's the first time you've gone to see those guys since you moved on from them last offseason. What was that feeling like for you, seeing a lot of your friends, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, et cetera, et cetera?
It was cool. I mean, met with the coach, met with all the people I was close with. Good to see them again because after the season I went straight to Germany. Played national team and took time off. So it was great to see them again. And I mean, unfortunately we didn't get the win, but I think the two games we played, especially yesterday, I think we played really well. And yeah, but it's always good to see, good friends, old friends who you played with last year. Got the Western Conference Finals as well. That was pretty dope last year, so it was great.
So, one thing I noticed in the game was just, I don't know if D'Angelo Russell is always like that, but he was talking a lot of trash to a lot of guys in that game. Is that just D'Lo normally? Like, what was going on? Was there something special there?
No, he's different. He normally don't do none of that, but I mean, this situation, I know it's a little hard as well. So I mean, whatever. It is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, like I said, it is what it is, and we just move on.
Got you. People are picking up on how much you say it is what it is, or at the end of the day. But I know what that means. I know what that means. It's all good. Okay, so you guys also find out before that game that Jakob gets injured and that he's out for 2 weeks. And of course, when you play the Lakers, as you know, the Lakers got crazy um, rim protection. They got big guys. Anthony Davis had 40 points, and you definitely need a lot of size to protect the rim against them. What was it like finding out that Jakob was going to be available, and what have you made of Thad Young stepping up, being the center in that place?
I mean, we knew that Jakob couldn't play. I mean, he twisted his ankle in Golden State, and I mean, he was tough enough to finish that game out um, and help us, get a W in San Francisco. But we knew he's probably going to be out for a couple of games. Yeah, and that's stepping up. I mean, everybody, he's always in the stay ready group, always try to get, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I mean, it's always a tough cover when you play against Anthony Davis. He's one of the best in the league. Then of course Brown. Then the next day he had the Clippers as well. So it was kind of tough for him. But at the end of the day, like I said, like he plays the right way, and he helped us. Boxing out, giving us toughness down there. Can pass it as well. So. Hit him in the pocket, so he did a great job overall, and it's been great, and we need him for sure until Yak comes back.
Yeah, it shows what a kind of great professional he is, right? Because he's not playing the whole year, and then I think the last 2 games he's played more minutes than he had all season combined, just in the last 2 days alone. And he's been good, in what he can do. So the Clipper game, you guys play that one. You guys find out that one, Pascal's got back spasms because he got clipped by Taurean Prince in the Laker game. Now his back's hurting. He can't play in the second game against the Lakers. So another sort of shift. You go back into the starting group. And I'm curious because it seems like since the trade, you and Quickly together on the floor once, those two point guard lineups are really, really working well. What's your experience like playing in those games and seeing the things that are working between you and Quickly?
I think we kind of set the tone in OKC, and I think that was with Chris Paul and me, myself, and Shea, where we had that 3-point lineup. And we always ended the games like that. Of course, we a little, smaller, and we got to like box out a little bit more on the defensive end. But at the end of the day, it's like really, we can play really fast, kick the ball ahead, can play off each other, make sure, we put us both in action. And I mean, I told them from the start, like, listen, we're gonna play a lot of minutes together, so we gotta, figure this out a little bit. And I mean, first 5 games has been great, and we want to keep getting better at it.
So I was thinking in the other game that, between you and Quickly, like that's a really, really quick point guard group, right? Like, and I was thinking about even some of the similarities that you guys may have in terms of your play style. Both really quick at getting downhill. We saw him in the fourth quarter, for example, really take over and do a lot of the scoring for you guys last night. Do you see some comparisons there between you and Quickly's game? And are you able to give him some pointers because you guys play kind of a similar style when it comes to that quickness off the bounce?
Yeah, getting into that paint. I think he's doing a great job of getting to the paint when people cut him off. That he can get to the line and being creative, getting to the line. Of course, his ability to shoot as well is great when it comes off pin downs. So I think our games is kind of similar, but he loves to shoot to me a little bit more than me, and I think it's great. And I think we just gotta figure each other out, and then it's gonna be a scary lineup.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, the rest of that game from last night, uh, you know, you guys are shorthanded. You guys don't have your starting front court in Pascal and Jakob. But I thought you guys played really cohesively. You guys played really well together as a group. I mean, the Clippers are as good of a team as there is right now in the NBA. Since trading for James Harden, they've been on a great run. And, you know, you guys stuck with them the whole time. It was like a really close game. There was like 30 lead changes. Nobody went up by 10 or down by 10 until basically the last little bit, and then you guys still made a bit of a comeback. What can you say about the cohesiveness about the group that you guys are playing with right now since the trade?
Everybody stepping up, everybody just being ready, being resilient. Don't make excuses. I think to not make excuses that somebody's out and that we have to, even Garrett Temple came in, knocked down his first three, always staying ready, so professional every single day, coming in, being positive. And then just coach said, "Yo, Garrett, come in," and he was wondering. He was like, "Me?" And like he was ready right away. Everybody just enjoying each other. That's why I'm saying that we got to have that joy where everybody is happy for another. Like I was so happy with Garrett to stay on the court with him together and play. And we was just having fun, sharing the ball, and try to get a win and compete on the highest level. And I think we did it, but we came up short. That's okay, but that we play our hardest and we play for another. Always got to be there.
Yeah, ever since you made those comments after the Pistons game, and we talked about it on our show last week, just about how you want to get the group together and just keep guys together. I'm starting to notice the little things. There was a play, in the Kings game, Pascal blocked Malik Monk in transition, and then Malik kind of grabbed his ankle, holding him from getting back on the other end. And after the play was stopped, you and Chris Boucher both like sprinted over to go pick up Pascal on the ground. So I'm seeing that togetherness from you guys as a group, even on the little things like that. And it's great to see you guys pick up for each other, play together as a group. I wanted to ask you something else because you've had a couple of stories written about you in this last week or so. There's one in Yahoo by Jake Fisher. There's one at Sportsnet with Michael Grange, both just covering your career. And it was interesting because I thought both stories were pretty good in terms of just covering sort of what you've been going through, your career. But the little headlines that get aggregated sometimes don't really paint you in a good light. I don't know if you see this stuff or not, but there was one where it was like, well, Dennis is not was reportedly not happy with coming off the bench, or another story was like, you know what, you may have turned down 80 million or something.
Who said that?
No, I'm just saying that's what happens when like little bits and pieces of stories get aggregated and pulled out. Because I thought Grange wrote a great story about you in terms of your transition to the second unit, how happy you've been with the whole, or how professional you've been about the whole thing, and you're thriving in the new role. But the little pieces that come out about Dennis are generally, they paint you in almost a negative light, I think.
I mean, listen, for me, I'm a team player. I play basketball because it's a team sport. I love just enjoying and embracing and be a good piece of, a winning mentality organization. At the end of the day, coach's decision, I got to accept it. But I think I'm a pro, but to respect it is whatever. It is what it is, I'm a pro, I know, and at the end of the day, like he's seen, okay, our bench, we got to step it up a little bit. And then it was our starters, and then he wanted to make a change. So it is what it is, and I just go from there. What the reporters, reporters, they always gotta make a story or gotta, make it interesting for people to read it. So at the end of the day, everybody knew, and my whole career, I'm gonna keep it straightforward. And if I have something, I would go to, if I would be unhappy, I would go to my side or go to somebody and say, listen, I'm unhappy to, but at the end of the day, I'm a professional. We want to be in an organization like Toronto. I think Bobby and Masai, they're about the right things, and coach as well. And I'm just trying to, build that culture here of embracing each other, being excited for another, and just being, the leader, and lead by example. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for, and that's what they brought me here for. And no matter what kind of role I'm in, I want to be like the best version of myself.
Yeah.
Nothing going to change that, So whatever they wrote, it is what it is. I can't change it, So I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yeah. And listen, I got to defend Grange because that's not the whole story was not about you being unhappy about coming off the bench. It was more like you really adapted to the role. You really sacrificed for the team. He's got quotes in there from you, quotes in there from Darko about what you're contributing. It's just that when you have one little tidbit in the whole story and then it gets aggregated and that becomes the whole story, it just takes it out of the context. Everyone's seen what you've done with the team and accepting of multiple roles. So I got to defend my teammate Grange as well. He wasn't trying to, talk down on your name, but I hear you though, and I think that the adaptation for you has been really strong. I have two more questions, just really quickly. When you were brought into the organization, like was the idea, was the pitch like you're gonna get a really good chance to lead the group here? This is probably going to be a team that obviously just lost their point guard. You're going to come in and start as point guard. Was that the expectation coming in?
Yeah, I mean, the expectations was a little bit different, coming from a summer where, we wrote history and been with the guys a long time, having that chemistry already. But coming to Toronto, I mean, the situation was a little different. I know, too, it's a national team and it's the NBA. It's two different things. At the end of the day, I thought, I'm gonna do the same thing here. But I mean, like I said, I talked to even Masai and the organization, and I think it's similar. But I still got to get to know my teammates, get to know being kind of comfortable with them. When you come in your first year, you try to find your way and see how things are and how players are, and I think, it's going to get better every single day. And we try to work on, what I have had this summer and try to do the same thing here.
Got you. Got you. All right. Last question to that idea of you guys getting tighter as a group. We saw a great clip that went around on Open Gym where you guys were out in LA, the one off day you guys had before playing the Lakers. And I don't know whose idea it was, but you guys all got on a bike ride and just like biked along the beach. It seemed like a really fun time. By the way, it's snowing in Toronto. So I hope you're ready to come back to that, buddy. But yeah, whose idea was it to organize that bike trip? And my follow-up question is, does Emmanuel quickly not know how to ride a bike? Because it looked like an adventure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Coach Darko's idea. I mean,
Okay.
he said we got practice. But that day when we woke up, normally our loops is in front of our door. When we open the door up, we take our loop, put our stuff on, and then head to practice. But Curtis, our equipment manager, he said, "Oh, we getting it at the gym this time," and everything was kind of a little bit off. So I thought he's gonna, in my mind, I was like, "Oh, he's gotta, got something planned." But then we drove and got to that bicycle, like rental bicycle, where you can rent the bikes, and not everybody liked it, but when everybody was on that bike, and we was just was at the Santa Monica Pier. I think it was great. Just everybody, together, and that's what that's what I'm talking about. Being together, even if you do practices or if you do off court stuff, I think it's great for the team. And we had a great time and enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looked like a great time, man. I don't. When you say some people didn't like it, what do you mean? Like some people didn't like riding bikes, or they're just like, what's going on? I was trying to push shots up, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden we riding bikes and stuff.
yeah, because we they said we heading to practice, and
Uh-huh.
what you expect you want to play basketball, but I mean then we stopped at this rental, and everybody was kind of shocked. was a lot of people who were struggling. I'm not putting no names out there. It was a lot of people who were struggling riding bikes, but nobody got hurt. You know, everybody was safe. And that was the most important, and we had fun.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah, I think we know one of the people who were struggling because Quickly had like a GoPro on the camera, and I think he tried to ride it into the sand. I mean, come on, you know you can't ride a bike on the sand. Like, come on, man.
But he was not bad though. I gotta say he wasn't bad.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, the sand thing. I remember that I was right next to him. He cannot do that, but other than that, he was pretty solid.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Dennis, I appreciate you. Have a safe rest of the road trip, and we'll see you back in Toronto next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, that was the interview with Dennis Schröder. You know, did you guys learn something?
So Darko organized the surprise bike trip.
It was a surprise bike trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That is fun, man. It looked like a great scene. If people haven't seen it already, it's out on Open Gym.
Yeah.
Just look for their socials on the Raptors, for example. But yeah, it was great. Emmanuel Quickly had a GoPro, the whole thing. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. Like, when's the last time you rode a bike?
It's been a minute, man.
Yeah?
I have most of my life I have not had a bike. Actually, I've never owned a bike. So I am. I would be as shaky as Emmanuel Quickly. Like I could do it.
Shaky.
Yeah, I could do it, but I would not. Like I'm certainly not going to grab one of those city bikes downtown and bike around. I just.
Oh damn! I didn't know.
Yeah.
Gotta get on that, man. $99 for the whole year.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
my
It's just like
thing.
I have not biked enough in my life to be comfortable biking downtown.
Got
Like when I was a kid, like we had to choose. You could have a bike or like rollerblades because like I had two brothers and like where you're not getting all of those things.
Right.
So yeah, because I was such a hockey kid and played like street hockey constantly.
Right.
I always picked rollerblades.
Bay Street Bully.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm Chinese, so I ride bikes. Sorry.
Goodness.
We're known for this, man.
Yeah. What'd you do during the break, man?
Yeah, during the break, because it was 20 minutes, I had a chance to enjoy that bear steak sandwich that
smells good in here now.
I mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's all that chimichurri. No, it was an elite sandwich.
No,
So
it really blew you away.
No, I'm genuinely blown away. Apparently, lineups are like 30 minutes. So get
I had to wait 30 minutes today to get you guys.
Why you say I like you're the president or
The
something?
sandwiches.
Yeah, you're a civilian, bro. Wait that line.
No, man.
What are you
I'm a
talking
Toronto
about?
legend,
Oh,
bro.
man. You're
Thank you
all
for the merch, too, by the way.
Oh,
It's a good
my
hoodie.
God.
Aki
It's a cool logo.
and Ricky. Yeah. Anyways. What else from the Dennis interview?
From the Dennis interview?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but just like when you write a whole story and only one piece gets aggregated and that feeds into like your narrative of who you are as a person or a player, like it just sucks, man.
Well, and
Like
you
Jake's
talked about it with
story
great.
with Yahoo was really good about Dennis's career.
Yeah.
This summer, I know Jake went over to Asia during the World Cup as well, so I'm sure there were some conversations had even then. Following up on that, him going back to LA and wrote about his career, even talked about, there was that infamous report that, he turned down $84 million from the Lakers. They addressed that. And that was the only piece that was pulled out of Jake's piece that was like a whole feature. And then when Grange wrote a whole story, the only one thing that got pulled out was just like he was reportedly not thrilled with the initial news of him getting moved to the bench.
Well, that one was even worse because like it just did not provide the whole context at all.
But the whole point is to
terrible.
remove it all from the context so that we can just build this, like continue to build an idea of a person.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's why I
dangerous
want to
part.
ask him about it. But it seemed like now he has smoke for Michael Grange. So Grange, I apologize for creating an issue with you and Dennis. I'm sorry.
No, we love you,
I
Grange.
defended you, Grange.
We love you, Grange. Yeah.
Other
How do we
apologies.
transition from we love you, Grange?
Other apologies. Michael Pena. We attributed.
We? This is an I. Take
Sorry,
responsibility.
fine. I accidentally, on a rush to go to break, a rush of blood to the head, Coldplay style.
Which had to go Amsterdam?
I had to apologize because I did say that he was Michael Pena of The Athletic. He is Michael Pena of The Ringer.
How do you get
Of
the
course.
Ringer and the Athletic, man? I'm going at your head for this.
Honestly,
Those are very two different
of course,
publications.
I know, man. It's just, I don't know, man. You just,
What were you thinking about in that moment?
I'm on air for like 10 hours, like 15 hours if you put in the React pods. a
Can't
week.
relate.
Yeah, you can't.
I can't relate.
So you make a mistake. once
here's
in a
why
while.
I think it's extra bad.
Yeah, let's go at him. Let's go at his head.
And I love Michael Pena. So apologies for this.
I
but
love Pena, man.
the quality of those trade ideas scream The Ringer.
Mm.
So that's why it's extra.
Yo, Hold on, you were formerly at the Athletic.
Yeah.
Was there Athletic ringer beef or no?
No,
Oh,
not
okay,
at all.
okay, sorry.
And there are just like Eric Green has a piece up at the Athletic today going over a lot of similar trade scenarios to what we've talked about here, talked about with Pena. He gets into it with a number of other writers. It's actually when I was at the Athletic and they actually had someone for every team, it was super fun this time of year because you could do like I could sit there and pretend I'm the GM and like talk to the Kings person, talk to the Hawks person, talk to, and try to see what the actual best of, not like theoretically, like I could talk to the writer for each team and get a sense of what could you actually give up. So anyway, Eric has one of those up with a bunch of people today at the Athletic. There's no Athletic ringer beef where like everyone, I mean, you guys are in the industry, everyone's friends.
Everyone pretends to be friends. Everyone pretends.
It's sweet.
That's why I say what I see. Michael Pena. By the way, no. It's also funny that everyone's calling him Michael Pena now because his name's Michael Pena, but
I messed it up.
You called him Michael Pena, and we just continue to do that on the show.
Yeah,
it is kind of fun to put the
to
pronounce his name right.
To pronounce people's names wrong.
No.
What are you, Evan Turner?
Oh no, not at all, man.
Come on. Oh, you guys already roasted him yesterday.
Yeah.
He issued an apology, but he said if you were offended, I'm sorry.
Classic apology.
Classic.
I just don't think it's cool to be like, oh, you're not part of like the culture here, then you're just not cool in general. It's like, no, man. Like, it's actually cool that the more cultures you know and the more cultures you're familiar and comfortable with.
Yeah.
As a life rule. Maybe it's just growing up as a Canadian, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
He's still broken from Mark Titus writing an entire book and having an entire career based off calling Evan Turner the villain at Ohio State. So he's still recovering from that.
Oh, Mark Titus was the, what is it, Mr. Mr. Club Trillion?
The book Don't Put Me In, Coach. It's actually a really good book. And like it's a fake thing in the book where like he hates Evan Turner and calls Evan Turner the villain the whole time. They're actually boys, but it's just like a bit in the book.
Gotcha.
Was Evan Turner, when he got traded to the Pacers, didn't he like ruin them or something? Or was he the guy? Remember the one year when they did the photo shoot? When Paul George and them did the photo shoots.
I don't think he was in that.
He wasn't on that team?
It was David West, Paul George.
They were playing so well, and then they fell apart.
George Hill.
I remember they fell apart, though.
So he got traded there for Danny Granger and a second.
Like mid-season?
In the middle of the two. So he was a part of the process Sixers.
Yeah.
They had obviously used the number 2 pick on him pre-process. And then, he got traded to that Indiana team.
Yeah, and then they collapsed.
Let me see.
I'm blaming it on Evan, man. Anyways.
I don't know about that.
Let's play another game, guys.
Okay. What are you, the Joker? Okay. All right. Not comforting.
Number 24s on all time on the Raptors. 24.
Right. Marquise Noel.
Yeah, it's been a very common number.
Yeah, Marquise Noel.
Yep.
Morris Peterson.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Powell.
There's 10 of them. Yeah. 3, Norm.
All right, give me some years. I feel like the years are really
very recent. 20. He was as recently as last year.
Kem.
He was on this team. Yes, We the
Kem
North.
Birch was 24.
Kem, We the North,
Okay.
Birch.
RJ Barrett favorite Sonny Weems.
Yes. So you guys got
Nice.
the 4 most recent,
Okay.
and now there's one from 2009. 3-point shooter.
Jason Capono.
Yeah, OG Matt Thomas, Jason Capono.
Well, we signed him for like the mid-level instead.
You
of
already
just the
said
league
Mo
minimum.
P, right?
I already said Mo
Yeah.
P. Yep.
Did you say Norm?
I said Norm.
So
Okay.
we got 6, right?
So now we're in the 90s. So
The last
Derek.
4 are all 90s?
yeah, I don't know if you guys
Ooh.
can get
Yeah.
these.
I'm going to whiff on the 90s.
Yeah, Jimmy King.
Yeah, I met Jimmy King in real life.
Yeah, here's another
just didn't
story
know who he
that we
was.
should tell. We were at this Raptors event, actually our like live event.
Our own live event.
And friend of the program, Elaine Kwan, who worked for the Raptors in the first year, brought through Jimmy King, who was in town.
Yeah.
And Will just treated him like a civilian.
No, it wasn't that. It was so we were in the green room and there was
Having
some,
Hong Shing.
there was some food in the green room.
Yes.
And Elaine brought her friend up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
big dog.
Yeah, you're like, big dog?
There's some,
Yo, man.
There's some chili wontons
Yo, have
over
some wings,
here.
man. Have
And
some
he's
wings.
like, you don't know who I am? I'm like,
Meanwhile, I have
No.
friends who are like, oh my God, Jimmy King from the
Yeah.
Fab Five is
no,
here.
I think it's just an age gap, really, more than anything else. You know?
Yeah, it's always age grab.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jimmy
But
Oliver,
salute to Jimmy, man. Really good dude. Really nice dude.
Reggie Slater,
Who?
and Sean Respert.
Yeah, I was getting none of those 90s ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Who?
Who do you think it was, man? Sexy Beast, Kai?
so can I?
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm just kind of obsessed with this game. Only one Raptor player ever has wore number 51.
Oh,
Recent, within the last 2 years.
Like COVID emergency.
Yes.
I know.
You only get one guess,
Tremont
so
Waters.
like, yeah, you got it. Oh my God.
Nice.
That's crazy.
I was going to guess Daniel Oturu.
Yeah. There's no chance I know what number
I figured
he
like
wore.
I cannot picture the number 51 on a basketball
Yeah.
jersey, so I figured it had to be a COVID call up.
Yeah,
51 Tremont Waters, by the way, sounds like an address. I
it
just said
really
that.
does. What number are you guys rocking if you're on a basketball team?
I don't care.
11 for Yao Ming.
You don't think about that stuff?
Nah, I've never like when I played hockey growing up, I would always pick last. I don't care.
Yeah.
Damn. It's
Yeah.
about the name on the front of the jersey.
As long as there's a C right here on the jersey.
Wow.
Were you a captain?
So, I mean, occasionally, not all the time.
Oh, you're like an alternate
as
captain?
you
What does
like
that
go
mean?
up. Yeah, I mean there is. Well, like I have been a captain and
Oh,
then
okay,
an
okay,
assistant
okay.
captain,
I
and
got
then
you,
also
got you.
like you go up a level and nobody on that team knows you because you played at the level below before, and then you're not a captain anymore.
Oh, fair enough.
That's
cool,
just
man.
like a very hockey like joke though. The like as long as there's a C right here, I don't care about the number on the back.
Gotcha.
I like that, man.
That's pretty good.
Hey, you're taking your dad to the Leafs game
I am.
on
yeah.
Sunday.
We that was a Christmas gift from you.
No, I'm
Asian
not. I'm not taking credit for that. That was a hockey assist.
That actually was a hockey assist, ironically enough. But and I can't say who because you actually requested
Yeah.
that person to remain
Derek, play
anonymous.
who?
Who? Like a former Chinese premier. Who?
I believe you're
who?
going to. I believe you're going to the Platinum Lounge with your
Here's
dad.
the thing. I'm actually not going to the platinum.
What?
Even though he offered it, because
You were offered.
my dad is really salt of the earth kind of thing. Like if
Yeah.
I tell him that I got you tickets to the Leafs game and we're going to the platinum lounge, he's gonna be like, you know what? I'm not comfortable. Like this is too much all at once. So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep it humble. We're gonna keep it humble.
So what do you think?
Sprite Zone.
Yeah. What do you think you guys are gonna eat? Like,
well, the plug in this case,
Yeah.
who got the tickets, who also offered the platinum lounge.
yeah,
I explained the situation to him. I was like, dude, this is so thankful. Like I appreciate this.
yeah.
And he's like, what about some chung chung hot dogs? So catch me and Ronald
Yo,
with
that's
some
amazing.
glizzies in the 300s.
How
on
do you
Friday,
feel
or
about
Sunday.
Ilya Samsonov being back from the AHL without a? There's like he
Oh,
got
man.
he got sent to the 905, didn't play a 905 game. He's gonna come back and this is what you and your dad are walking into, perhaps.
Who?
So I know Tremont Waters from one game
You
with the
can
Raptors.
remember Tremont Waters' jersey number,
I
not the
do not
current
know who
Leafs
that
goalie.
is, man.
Yeah.
Is he? He's a goalie. Yeah. He's
Yeah, and
Samsonov.
like
Yeah,
was
yeah,
supposed to be their starter, and they bounced him down. Basically, the equivalent of bouncing a guy down to the 905, but not play him while he's there.
Mhm.
And like, like they put him on waivers, and no one claimed him and stuff.
Oh damn!
But
Yeah,
he's
that's gotta
back.
be a wild feeling in life, by the way.
He's back.
Like anyone can have him, and everyone's like, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Damn, I'm excited for you, man.
I'm excited
Sad I
too.
won't be here on Monday for the report. I guess I'll just talk to you in real life.
What are the Leafs' chants? Like, are there like, is there like defense? Could you chant defense? I mean, it's a fluid game. Like,
Yeah, be more
possession
like
changes
like
totally.
you'll get a go Leafs go for
Go Leafs
sure.
go? Yeah, okay,
but that's
yeah.
about it.
Nice.
Okay.
There, I mean, you know what Raptors game ops are like.
Yeah, are they gonna play?
There is some
They're gonna
MLS.
play Usher
spicy one.
confessions. Blake,
There is
while they-
there is MLSE synergy. I'll just say.
Oh, okay. So
You don't- you
Austin
don't-
Matthews scores. They're gonna be like,
No, you know what's the hottest
let's
song?
get it started in here.
The hottest hockey song is Blur's song too, man.
Yeah.
Derek, can I hear that when we come back from break?
Right.
But like, yeah. Anyways, this was a master class in killing 10 minutes
Why do we kill 10 minutes, man?
for fun, man. We're banking content for tomorrow
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
we're
I'm
going
enjoying
around the NBA all day
all the
tomorrow.
banter.
because I'm not prepping on my last day tomorrow.
Don't worry, we got you.
That's your gift to me.
We got you. Yeah. Are
Hey,
you
did-
enjoying all the banter?
Hey guys, did you know it's my last day tomorrow? Anyways, all right, take the break.
We're gonna take this break. My goodness. Thank you for Dennis Schröder for coming on the pod. And yeah, I've been your host, Will. You've been listening to the Raptor Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Welcome back to the Raptor Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. I'm your host, Will. Blake Murphy, Alex Wong. Alex, you're gonna guide us through the next 15 minutes because I'm just basically turning off the rundown now. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, so yesterday was the 25th anniversary of the debut of The Sopranos. So wanted to ask you guys, what was the most formative show of your teenage years or your 20s? Was there a TV show?
Wait, those are two different questions.
No,
I have
but
two different
Sopranos
shows.
was the most formative show of my life.
But you can't tell me that the first show that you got into was The Sopranos. Like,
It's-
there's got to be like a bridge show. Like for me,
I didn't watch a lot of shows. Like I've never watched Friends. You know this.
yeah, that's fine.
I never watched like Saved by the Bell, Beverly Hills 90210, all those shows going. I never watched those.
Okay.
I watched sports.
Yeah, me too in high school. Like
Okay. Cool.
like with my age, my
Yeah.
answer for high school should be the OC, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't watch that until like my late 20s.
Oh, I love
because
the OC.
I think it's a great show now, but when I was in high school, I was like, yeah, I was watching hockey and basketball. That's all I watched.
I was actually trying to get Alan Sepinwall on for you guys.
Oh, that would have been cool.
A few weeks ago, because like he put out a new book
Yeah.
about the OC, and he's a huge Knicks fan.
Yeah.
But he just got back to me like yesterday.
Speaking of huge Knicks fans who we won't get on the show, but should take us away, Ben Stiller like live tweets every Knicks game, and is also like constantly tweeting about how good RJ and Emmanuel quickly look in Toronto.
Hashtag StarJ all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Ben Stiller, all I want is Severance season 2, man. Let's go.
It's coming.
Let's go. You know who's also a big Raptors fan? I think we knew this already. Chuck D.
Okay.
Public Enemy. Like he's been tweeting a lot about the Raptors.
Yeah. Well, didn't he say he's a Knicks fan? So he's like, watch.
Right.
He's like, that's the thing with Knicks fans is like, I actually really admire that fan base because they're like crazy passionate. They still got a swagger about them, even though the organization has been losing and kind of a joke for a long time.
Careful, they're gonna ban you
No,
or
no,
sue you.
No, but it's true. But like they stick
allegedly,
with it, man. They
allegedly they've been bad. Yeah,
even like
allegedly.
their bloggers and podcasters from back in the day, like they know how to have fun with losing.
Yeah,
They make losing into like its own sort of like parody in a way.
we should be better at that too. We're 15-23. Yeah.
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 Well, we did a good job today, I think.
This is it's Lakers exceptionalism, but with a bad franchise in the like compare it to what the Warriors fans are doing right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, more on the Warriors tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe I should book Jim.
It's ugly.
Do not.
So
Not for your finale, man. What are you doing?
You want Jim Park?
sorry. So
Shows.
Sopranos is your answer for in your 20s?
I want to say yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so when
I
was
did a
in,
rewatch recently too. Great.
when I was in my
so good
teens,
still.
Great show.
when I was in my teens,
Yeah.
my go-to show was House. That's why I
Really?
asked this
House
question.
MD?
House, and then my formative like early 20s was like rewatching The Wire, or like it wasn't live, so I was watching The Wire.
Yeah, you love the
and
Wire.
then watching Mad Men.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
you
Sopranos
love.
afterwards.
I
after
thought
that.
you were just gonna say Mad Men. You love Mad Men.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I rewatched Mad Men last year
Mm.
because I had COVID and I needed something to
You're
kill 2 weeks.
sweet.
I had not been able to make it. Like I loved Mad Men, watching it week by week as
Yeah.
it came out. Like I thought it was tremendous, and like obviously if you go back and watch it, the way they create the setting and that timeline, like it's still a very like visually beautiful show
Yes,
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I couldn't do it with the rewatch though, like knowing where the characters are going and stuff like that, and the pace that it moves at, and just like kind of how awful everyone was. I had trouble with the rewatch, even though again, like on first watch, I loved that show.
Yeah. Speaking of the
for me.
Knicks, you know this, right? I think
So-
Blake, you probably know. Like when the Knicks were recruiting LeBron, I think in 2011,
Yeah.
they had James Gandolfini and those guys do a whole
Oh, yeah.
Sopranos video.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
That would have been.
Shouts to the Knicks.
They
Great
should have
org.
done that with the
I
New
mean-
Jersey Nets when they were trying to recruit Carmelo. Instead of that, remember the package that was on eBay recently? Their pitch
Oh,
package
you're right.
Carmelo
You
with
showed
like
me this,
him
yeah.
alongside like Chris Humphries
Oh,
and
my
stuff.
God.
They
I thought you
should
meant
have.
HVAC or whatever.
Yeah, H-back.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Humphries,
H-back.
Brooks, and a pick.
That's what I
Yeah.
order when I go to Korean.
Melo's like, get the F out of here. And then he grabbed a rebound.
Uh-huh.
No, the best pitch was still Daryl Morey photoshopping Melo onto Jeremy Lin's number 17 jersey
Yeah.
when he was trying to get him to Houston.
That's the first time he offended China.
Oh no! 4 segments left. Let me get out of here, man.
Oh.
Is that mainland?
No, that's Uncle Rod. That's what Jeremy Lin said when he saw what? Did I just get traded?
Anyways, guys.
Anyway, yeah.
Raptors news.
What's up?
Blake referenced this in segment 1. The Lakers Raptors last 2-minute report did come
Oh,
out
yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And spotlighted 2 more calls that the Lakers should have gotten. I
So
guess-
more free throws?
I guess my question: do you guys care about this last 2-minute report stuff? Like the game's over.
Ben Taylor was terrible tonight.
No, like it's been decided. Like
I care.
I mean, I look towards the past a lot too, but
I care to just put out the news that, like,
Yeah.
for example, like quickly got fouled in the last minute there against
Mhm.
Sacramento. I want to put that out there because I know
Yeah.
people are gonna be mad and be like, "Look at the league
Right.
is screwing the Raptors."
but
Well,
are you like this is gonna change the way I
no,
look
it
at this
changes
game?
absolutely nothing.
Okay.
And Blake, I thought you made a great point yesterday when you were like, "This is not even good for officials."
No, I think it's bad for officials. I think it's bad for the
Mm.
league. They rolled it out because they thought accountability and visibility was going to be a better thing. It came from a good place. This is not, by the way, the last 2-minute report is not something new. It's just new externally. Like the league evaluates all the calls and they keep a record of this stuff. And theoretically, it determines who gets what playoff assignments and things like that. Like the referees actually do get evaluated, even if Ben Taylor's continued existence would suggest otherwise. My concern when the L2Ms first started coming out, and I absolutely think it's correct now, is first of all, it's not real accountability because there's no stakes to it. There's no like there's no sense that like anything will come of it. But also like so many calls are subjective anyway that you can always just like err on the side of saying the referees were right, which is fine. But the biggest thing for me is that all this really accomplishes is like the Lakers won yesterday. The response from Raptors fans is that, well, obviously the league is backing their refs for all the bad calls against the Lakers because, you know, we know the Lakers get more free throws. Like this is like a long-term story. So you get that response. You get the anti-Raptors response. You get the Lakers fans who are like, see, shut up. It's like there's no...
I mean, I would be like, see, shut up too if it backed my point.
Oh,
but,
I'm not saying people shouldn't do that. It's fun. Like it's like when you tweet that out, it's like I don't mute that conversation until like an hour after because I want to see the initial reactions that are coming from people. But I think for the league's purposes, it is accomplishing nothing because both sides are still upset about it, and the referees, it only seems like fake accountability publicly. And again, even if there's real accountability stuff going on, I think optically this has failed and continues to not be worth the trouble for the league.
It just creates
a shame.
It just creates a second cycle of the outrage cycle.
Yeah.
Like you're just mad about it again the next day. So and nothing changes.
Like I guess like in a meaningless regular season game, like if you're a team that finishes with 50 wins and it costs you 1 win and there's one day where you get to be like, see, I feel justified. We should have won that game. That call was wrong. And it doesn't actually impact anything. Sure, that's a scenario where the L2M does something, I guess. It makes you feel a little bit better. But like I think 99% of the time, like I don't even tweet them out unless they're like egregious in one direction or one like yesterday where it's funny and I know what the response is going to be because, yeah, of course, that's what the last 2-minute report says. I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. No, my favorite part about that Lakers game was actually D'Angelo Russell talking trash for 3 quarters, and then he was on the bench for the whole last 6 minutes of the game. You can't do that. You can't be the lead trash talker and then not be in the closing lineup.
I mean, Patrick Beverley is in the league.
Oh, God. That's a dog, man.
Woof, woof.
Anyways.
A lot of bark. That's
guys, coming out of the Darko thing, too, you know, Drake posted about it on his IG, reposted the video, and he said, quote, Toronto has a real one as their coach. This guy is a geyser. First of all,
it's a geezer. Man.
Geezer?
You call it a geyser?
What's geezer? Who uses this?
It's like a British
Canadian
term, right?
I've never heard of this.
Oh, it's like more of a... I mean...
Is this like Sweeter Man's?
No, it's not, actually.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's a white guy term. Isn't
Really?
it?
I've
Geezer?
never...
Look,
I've never heard of this.
Some white British rappers that I have listened to in the past might use the term geezer all the time.
So the follow-up for me for this is like, we know that Drake was in the locker room with Darko, right?
Yes.
But I've never heard Drake use Darko's name. Do you guys think Drake knows Darko's name?
Yes, man. Come on.
Are you sure, though?
Yes.
Do you want to leave room for a conspiracy that he might not?
No, I think, yeah.
Okay, second follow-up. Who can name more current Raptors players, Drake or Kawhi?
Oh, man. it's gotta be Drake. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You gotta give him some respect, man. You know what?
Geezer.
Do you think there was a timeline where RJ Barrett was at the game in the Sprite Zone watching Sonny Weems, and Drake was also at the game, not in the Sprite Zone, but watching Sonny Weems? Like, there's a real timeline where both those guys were.
Would
there at the
RJ
same
have
time.
been Sprite Zone? Like Rowan's had ties in the
you're
city long enough
right.
that
he would have been courtside or the
plugged
family
up.
friend section.
Can we? Yeah, we should. bring
Delano
back
was
to
up
this.
there with us.
Oh, Delano? You know what? You know how long it would take to go to a Raptor game if you were coming from the Rexdale?
I do, because Samson comes in for Rexdale for every Raptors game.
Yeah, that guy probably goes home at 2 a.m. every night.
He posts his game day fit at like noon. And it's like, oh, waiting for the bus.
Oh, that's where the location is.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Anyways, next up, the Grizzlies waived Bismack Biyombo.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and the people want a reunion.
You trying to order a Big Mac Bacombo?
People, I am actually.
We can dust off that Kendrick drop that they had, the sit down Biyombo.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Kendrick.
Game Ops is like, rubbing their hands together right now.
I don't want to hear Kendrick. People want a reunion, guys. Reunion with Bismack Biyombo.
Like, you want a 10-day or like you want to?
I don't know. I mean, Jakob's out. You know,
it would have to me. It would have to be a 10-day. Just procedurally, you've got the open roster spot. There's no sense signing someone so close to the trade deadline permanently.
Yeah.
Because like, what if you land up in a 3-for-2 trade? You got to waive them and eat the money. Like you're only going to 10-day guys right now. I will say this: if you hear the name Bismack Biyombo and you're like, you could do better than that. Here is the list I put together of other available bigs.
Okay.
For a 10-day right now.
All right, let's hear it.
Jordan Bell.
Okay.
He's been really good in the G League, but it's Jordan
Rogers
Bell.
program, sir.
DJ Wilson, run it back.
How many times can you sign a man at 10-day, man?
How many clubs do they want DJ Wilson to play?
Marquise, how many clubs? Marquise Bolden, who the Bucks just cut off a 2-way. There are two guys who are unsigned G League, unaffiliated G League guys who are solid, called Trey Jameson and Mo Pereira. I don't think either of them are like NBA ready just yet, at least on the Raptor system. And then there's like Moji down with the 905, who's been banged up and then sick a lot. And you
already have Boucher.
Yeah, like they play him more at the 4 when Jonte and him are on the floor together, unless it's like a really springy 5-man. And then like if you went the undersized route, like Justice Winslow or Darius Baisley. Like those are the names at the top.
Did you just say Darius Baisley?
Yeah, like those are the names at the top of the G League pile right now.
Wow.
Oh man,
Where's
Dwight Howard?
Taiwan?
Where's Dwight Howard at? Let's go get him.
Sit down.
Play the Nihao drop, please.
Is he in Taiwan?
That's what he's saying.
I think he is in Taiwan.
I don't know, man.
By the way,
but I would not be opposed to Bismack on a 10-day. Bismack's a great dude. Okay. Although it'd be weird for him to come back to the organization and he's like, I see Jama and then Masai and Bobby, and that's all I recognize now. So.
By the way,
a lot changes in 10 years.
Dwight's playing in the Philippines.
He's in the Philippines.
Okay, not Nihao.
He's traveling. By the way, JR Manatad.
Also in the Philippines? Sorry.
From Riz Sports wanted me to know that I was actually right. It's Geyser. Geezer and Geyser. He's
two different things?
No, yeah. They said this is Toronto slang.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Liban from the ocean also told me that it's Toronto slang.
Oh, I was
no,
not.
I wasn't. I didn't know this either.
I was not on for this.
I didn't know this. So
damn.
So he called him a Sweeterman.
Is it spelled different?
Guyzer is how he spelled.
Oh, like okay, it's spelled like phonetically, like how you.
But I've never heard. You guys have never heard that.
No, I'm from like an arms and legs era.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh, yeah. Did you guys use slang growing up? Any slang that you were?
Yeah, but
were
like
you slanging?
I grew up in Cambridge, Ontario, man.
Yeah,
there's not much.
Anyways.
Not much to that.
Yeah. Shout out to Hilltop, man. Anyone at the Hilltop knows.
The young guns, message to let me know. So yeah.
Wow, we branding the Sportsnet, the younger Sportsnet people after the Sonny Weems, Amir Johnson, Ed Davis, DeMar crew.
Yeah.
Man,
Jake Scholes.
We're gonna have to tell them to change the names to Young Ones because we don't want to use Young Guns anymore.
They really got sanitized.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Guys, second.
What does Young Ones even mean?
Second.
Young Ones.
That's how much JR is making. Second fan vote returns.
Not great
on NBA All-Star voting presented by AT&T.
Say it the way Sham says it.
How does he say it?
AT&T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
What do you want me to be?
Next time you hear one Sham says breaking news presented by AT&T, you'll notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you want me to be, man? Kay Adams. Scotty Barnes still not in the top 10 of the Eastern Conference front court. Mikal Bridges, for reference, is number 10 with 297,000 votes. Do Raptors fans exist? Yeah.
I mean, we used to. Did we also go prehistoric?
Are we blaming Raptors? Are we blaming Raptors fans for this? Like, can we blame somebody for this?
No, but I'm happy that Darko got 2 mentions of Scotty as an all-star in his all-time rant.
Okay.
So
yeah, cost them $12,500 for each.
Yeah, that's no, but I mean, what else to say? Go out there and vote for Scotty Barnes.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, me too. I am disappointed as well.
Vote.nba.com.
Yeah. Also, other Raptors exist. Pascal's been pretty great too. Let's vote Pascal too. But yeah. Anyway, we're out of time today. So, been your host, Walu. You've been listening to the Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Make sure you find the Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe. And please rate and review the show. Thanks once again to Dennis Schröder, producer and co-host Alex Wong, Blake Murphy, Bertrand, Derek Dale, Jennifer Rolnick, David Sis, Jeremy Anatad. We'll see you tomorrow for the finale.